Cartwright, Paxson, and Jordan. Rice and Long, Cycli in the middle, Shaw and Smith. We talked, Dick, about that matchup between particularly Pippen and Rice. Any other important ball game?
Well, I don't think there's any one more important than the Rice-Pippen matchup. If there is, it might be a tendency of Ronnie Cycli in the first two games not to express himself. He really, Bob, needs to get after it offensively. Challenge whoever is guarding him. If it's Cartwright, he should use his quickness. If it's Will Perdue, he should take him out on the court, take him off the dribble. If it's somebody like Horace Grant inside, he should use his size. But he's got to really look at the basket tonight.
Ronnie Cycli under a lot of pressure as the Miami Heat, with a history-making first playoff game at home. Michael Jordan is averaging nearly 40 points a game in this series. We are underway, the Heat with the ball. Steve Smith, the point guard. Brian Shaw came in the trade from Boston for Sherman Douglas. Looking for Rice on the baseline. 2-0 Miami.
Well, that's what they have to have, Bob. They have to have a good start and a big night from Glenn Rice.
Scottie Pippen being defended by Rice. Have the switch now, the mismatch. Pippen hard to the hoop. It's tied at 2. Backcourt pressure from Michael Jordan. See Steve Smith, just a rookie, only played 61 games this year. That was Long, Grant Long from Eastern Michigan in his 4th year, and it's 4-2. This team shoots much better at home. One of the keys to the game, according to Kevin Lockery, is a good shooting performance. Jordan's pass intercepted. Brian Shaw, the lob, the jam!
Well, there's no excuse. Chicago could have easily gotten back. Jordan got back, protected the basket. Nobody helped him.
Well, this crowd's in love with the team at the moment, but these are doubles. Michael Jordan pulls up and misses. Rebound, Cycli. 6-2 Miami. Miami had a good first half in the opening game at Chicago. That was for 3. Jordan with the rebound, averaging 12 a game.
See, Ronnie Cycli right now is way behind the ball. He's got to get ahead of the ball.
Jordan with the easy no-look lob to Grant.
I think
Grant
Ron,
with the lay-in.
Excuse me, Bobby. I think Ron Cycli's got a little bit of the jitters here.
6-4 Miami. First 2 minutes of the first playoff game of this expansion franchise at home. And Shaw threw up a prayer, and Chicago with a chance to tie.
Oh, they need better shots than that.
John Paxson looking for Cartwright. Cycli. Grant Long doing a good job in the middle. And the turnover from Cartwright. It's 3-on-2. The no-look. Long missing. Rebound, Jordan.
Again, Cycli, 15, 20 feet behind the ball on a missed shot. He's got to get back and make sure that the Bulls play 5-on-5. If you get in a transition game with Chicago, you're in big-time trouble.
Rice with his first personal foul of the ball game. And Pippen goes to the line. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists for Pippen. They call them Bulls 1 and 1A, Jordan and Pippen.
Well, you know, Michael Jordan right now is at a perfect crossroads between the boundless energy of youth and the hard-won wisdom of age. And that spells trouble for all his opponents in the next 4 years.
The roar of the crowd deafening already in the first 3 minutes of this ball game. 6-5, Miami by 1. Here's that full court pressure now.
See, what they do is they leave the big man to bring it up. Kevin would like to have Brian Shaw bring the ball up, but they overplay him, and it's forced. Look at the shot clock. Haven't made an entry pass. Shot clock is at 11.
Down to 8 now. Smith. 6 seconds, and they're just now getting to the offense. 4, 3. Smith from long range. He drains it. That's a 3.
You gotta like this rookie. Led all NBA rookies in this year. Had a very difficult year. Lost his mom, a tragic thing. Had major surgery. We see the steal.
3-on-1. Rice from Brian Shaw. It is 11-5, Miami. The crowd now feeding on the team and vice versa. Paxson from 19. Brian Shaw led his college team in rebounding. Rice, good move past Pippen. Offensive board for Rice.
Wonderful second effort.
Recycling. Stripped by Michael Jordan. From 17. Rebound cycling. Heat by 6. Electric atmosphere here.
Well, one of the things I saw in game 1, Bob, was that the Bulls came out tentative. They had a little bit of swagger on the countenances, and they were not ready to play. And that looks like the same countenance tonight.
3 seconds on the shot clock. 2 cycling from the baseline. Ronnie Cycling, you're right, Victor says, starting very tentative here tonight. Inside to Grant. Blocked by Cycling. Maybe that'll loosen him up.
Well, that's where he needs to be. He's the biggest guy that they have. He's their best big man. He needs to be down inside protecting. Ball goes inside. Little scramble by Brian Shaw, but Ronnie Cycling comes over and helps out. That's exactly what he has to do.
10 on the shot clock. Pippen's spin move off the glass. Cartwright, big board. And the foul. The Bulls are now 2 of 8 shooting the ball to open this ball game.
Well, I'm looking over at the face of Phil Jackson. I know that face because I've made that face. And that face is a face saying, we are not ready to play. I hope we can weather this. We got to get through it. I certainly don't like the shot selection, and I'm very disappointed in the energy level.
Grant Long picked up the first foul for him in this ball game. Cartwright shoots a brick. You know, I think the loudest stadium in the NBA is Chicago Stadium. This, at this point here in Miami, rivals the noise in Chicago.
I hated to play here. I didn't like it here. I always thought the weather was a big distraction. And then when you got here, this Miami Heat team always fed off the crowd. And no matter what you said to your guys, you couldn't make them believe it wasn't going to be an easy game because it was an expansion team.
Bulls only 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Steve Smith off the wing. It's 13-5.
Bill Jackson wants to talk about this. I guarantee you. Guarantee.
It's a 7-0 Miami run. Listen to this crowd.
Well, it is Cracker Night in Miami. It shows how far this franchise has come. 4 years ago when they lost 17 in a row, it's Fly Sweater Night. Fly Sweater Night to swat the Hornets. It didn't work. Everybody threw those down on the court after the game. You also don't see any brooms in this arena. Let's go back to Bob and Dick.
And Dick, let's talk about 2 steals early in the ball game here. Steve Smith in the circle.
Well, let's see why this steal developed. Let's watch John Paxson as he goes through. He takes a cut as the ball is attempted to go through the post, but Steve Smith doesn't go for the cut. Plays the steal all the way, ends up in a nice, easy transition basket off the steal. Very difficult to stop the transition baskets in the NBA when the opposing team gets a steal.
It's been a minute 51 since Chicago has scored. Heat on a 7-0 run. Chicago shooting 2 for 8. Heat 6 for 11. Pippen.
Nice rhythm jumper. Settle him down.
There's that pressure in the backcourt. Brian Shaw helping Steve Smith all alone. Long off the glass. Grant Long. He has 6 points.
See, that's not typical of the Chicago defense. Normally, when you come into the lane, there's as many people as the Chinese army coming after you. And it wasn't the case. Unmolested inside shot.
Grant punched away by Long. Horace Grant cycling with the rebound. That's his 3rd. Cycling with 3 rebounds and a blocked shot early in the game. Glenn Rice being smothered by Scottie Pippen. Smith takes the shot to Paxson. We have a 3-on-2. Now Jordan coming. Paxson with a miss. Pippen runs it down. Cycle's fourth rebound. Brian Shaw from 19.
Well, if Brian Shaw comes alive, he's had a difficult year. The Italy, the Boston, the Italy, the trade, back here. It's been difficult adjustment for him. If he can get his feelings such that he's so comfortable here, he can help this team tremendously.
Pippen against Rice, having his way early, but not able to knock it down. Another turnover. It was Brian Shaw with aid from Grant Long. Into Cycle, stripped away by Pippen. Foul on Chicago, no basket.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a terrific pass. Anytime that the player can make the pass prior to the color guy seeing it or the coach seeing it, that's an excellent pass.
Miami 11-2 in the last 3 minutes. Kevin Lockery said it is unbelievable, in his view, what this franchise has accomplished this year. 10-point lead, 17-7, 5:13 to go first quarter. Very patient with the offense. Long got inside of Pippen with the lay-in.
Bill Cartwright standing on the other side of the basket. Even if he has to take a foul, he has to come across the lane and challenge.
Long is 4 out of 5. 10 on the shot clock for the Bulls. Start right against Cycling. 6 on the shot clock. Cycling knocks it loose. 3, 2. Another steal. That's the third steal. It was Grant Long. Smith trying to post up Paxson. Count it, and he'll go to the line.
This is a wonderful rookie. This is a guy that has a brilliant future in this league.
Paxson's second personal foul.
This was a matchup they tried to exploit in game 1. Not much success. Off to a fine start in game 3.
21-7, the Heat tripling the score of the Bulls early. They've held the Bulls to 7 points so far. Blocked by Cycling, but counted as a goaltend. My guess is you'd say if you're his coach, but that's okay.
You see, Kevin Lockery likes the effort. He likes the fact that they came across to help defensively. The same kind of thing the Chicago Bulls are not doing.
Well, he said this team shoots better at home, I would say. Shooting 60% at the moment. 13 on the shot clock. Glenn Rice. The loose ball to Brian Shaw. Everything going Miami.
Well, they can have those kinds of nights here. They're just going to have to sustain this giddiness right now. The phenomenal shooting percentage is something that's not going to last.
Cartwright trying to look down for a baseline screen. Good defense by Miami. Cartwright over Cycle. He got a piece of that. Scottie Pippen with the rebound. Only 4 seconds remained on the shot clock. For Chicago, Pippen has 7, Grant 4. Jordan has yet to stretch. 10 on the shot clock for the Heat. 7. Rice for 3. Count it!
Oh, Bob, that's way too long a look for Glenn Rice. You cannot give him that long a look. You must get up into his chest and make him put the ball down on the floor.
Pippen trying to beat Smith off the dribble. Cycling with the block. That's his second block. 3 if you count the one that was called goaltending. Now Cycling hard to the hoop. He draws the foul. Gone is the tentativeness.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about in the open, the aggressiveness of Ronnie Cycling. He's got to continue to do that, not only on the offensive end, Bob, but he's also got to make sure that he gets back in transition. That's a rock group.
Stay tuned right after this one.
Rockin' UB.
The Portland Trailblazers looking to sweep L.A. Chicago trying to do likewise here tonight at Miami, but so far the Heat at 67% having nothing to do
Well,
with
the Bulls are ice cold. I don't like the shot selection. I don't think Phil Jackson likes it. It's getting a little bit better. They seem to be very tentative. They seem to be very cautious. Jordan has only taken 2 shots. Look out. Something's going to happen. He's averaging 39 in this series. So I just think that, you know, you just get this impending feeling of doom or the explosion going to come. But I have seen this Miami Heat team, Bob, feed off this crowd for 4 quarters. I've seen them do it into triple overtime.
The Bulls' low points for a quarter this year, by the way, is 15, and their lowest first quarter output on the year is 20. And here we have 2:43 to go in the first quarter. The Bulls have just scratched double figures with 11.
Well, you know, Phil Jackson has said that his bench is sort of like sub du jour, in that he goes and picks out whoever he wants. He doesn't have a normal rotation. And right now he's got Scott Williams in there. He's got B.J. Armstrong. He'd like to see something develop.
That was illegal defense on cycling. First one's a warning. New shot clock inbound by the Bulls. Jordan, 0 for 2, has not scored. Pippen with a major league jam.
Well, Scottie Pippen is a 200% three-point shooter, Bob. I'd back right off of him and let him take a couple of threes.
Shaw from long range. Knocks it down. Shaw, 6 points, 3 of 4. Jordan, 0 for 3. Scott Williams into the ball game for Chicago, along with B.J. Armstrong. Jordan over Brian Shaw, and Michael is now 1 for 4. His first points of the game.
I think that was a good way for Brian Shaw to play him. Back off, make him hit a couple of those out there. You certainly don't want him inspiring his own team with those unbelievable, wonderful dunks.
I was going to say the weakness of Jordan is his outside jumper. Let's say it's his least strong point. Cycling, underhanded, and he goes to the line.
Oh, that was a wonderful drop step move by Ronnie Cycli. Fakes the middle, drops the right foot back, seals the defensive player, and finishes off the glass. Takes the foul, goes to the free throw line. Kevin Lockery said he wanted to see his team get to the free throw line many more times this game.
Scott Williams picked up the personal, Cycling with 4 and looking for more. Minute 27 to go in the quarter.
Small wonder he wants to do that. I always feel that free throw shooting is basketball's hidden way to score. You should go into the game saying you want to get 35 opportunities.
B.J. Armstrong looking for Jordan, posting up Brian Shaw. Shaw and Jordan same height. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Pippen gets inside. He now has 11. 33-17. Minute to go in the quarter. The most points that have been scored against the Bulls this year in the quarter has been 38. Miami challenging that here with 33. Bad pass from Cycli. B.J. Armstrong to Pippen. Jordan down here too. The lob broken up. Rice stripped it away. Williams with it. 42 seconds in the quarter. Jordan with the shovel pass on the baseline. 10 on the clock. It won't go for Pippen. Brian Shaw. Rice. Rebound goes to B.J. Armstrong. The Bulls have it 3-on-2. Armstrong from 15. Bulls 19, Heat 33, 17 seconds to go in the quarter.
Phil Jackson wants that defense extended. He wants to try to eat up most of this clock if he can. There's the pressure.
They're going to call B.J. Armstrong for the foul. But hold it. They call timeout before the steal. Smart move. Jess Kersey picked it up, and he pointed to where the timeout was called. It was by Steve Smith. Thus, no steal. It's a 20-second timeout with 7.6 remaining in the first quarter. 33-19 Miami.
Well, I don't think they really want this timeout right now. It just seems to me it's ill-advised. It seems to me that It's sort of one of those serendipity timeouts. You don't really mean to have it, but you got it. It's an accidental happening, and you got to live with it. I mean, that 20-second timeout could be more valuable at an end of a quarter when you want to set up a play to maybe get a three-pointer, to maybe go in at half with a little extra lead. Maybe psychologically you want to gain an edge by using that timeout. Kind of a wasted one if you ask me, but don't ask.
There's Dan Marino. This is Celebrity City tonight. Dan Marino, Dick Versace, everybody.
I think he bought his tie where you bought yours. It's great.
He's looking good. It's called Miami Nice. Jerry Lewis is here. These are Jerry's kids, this team.
Let me ask you a question. Is Miami going to become the LA of the East? Is that a possibility with all these stars here?
I said that to somebody today, and they said, actually, LA is the Miami of the West. Thank you very much.
Oh, I see.
That's the attitude here in South Florida. They had to reset the clock here to 9.7 seconds. That's the reason this timeout lasted longer than 20 seconds. Let me just check the scoring here for Miami early. Rice has 7, Long 8, Cycli 5, Smith 7, Shaw 6. You got to call that balance.
Well, I just think that what's going to happen is that there's going to be a drop-off in this shooting. And when that occurs, you're going to have to depend on hard work. And the one thing that's a little bit upsetting, I think, to Kevin Lockery right now and his coaching staff is that when the Bulls do get a miss or a steal, then they got easy baskets at the other end. It's transition basketball at its best when you've got those guys like Jordan, Grant, and Scottie Pippen filling the lane.
9.7 to go in the quarter. Look at this defense. It'll be Chicago ball. Miami could barely get it inbounded. Chicago's strength, their defense.
Well, Kevin Lockery is all over Ronnie Nunn, and I think he's got a legitimate case. There was a lot of, hands on shoulders, grabbing of jerseys. The players in this league know that officials in the last few seconds of a quarter don't like to have a parade to the free throw line, and they try to take advantage of it.
Bimbo Coles gets into the ball game for this final couple of seconds. He's playing with a 100-degree temperature. Hasn't scored closure tonight. Jordan missing, has another opportunity. That won't count. The Miami Heat has held the Chicago Bulls to their lowest first quarter point total of the year and lead it 33-19. 5% shooting. Miami Heat at 67%. And Pippen had 11 of Chicago's 19 points. Michael Jordan, on the other hand, only 2. Will Purdue is checked in for the Bulls.
If you think that this Miami Heat team wasn't excited about being in the playoffs, here's a quick little story. Grant Long, when Cleveland beat the Atlanta Hawks, answered his telephone at home. Hello, playoff house. And this whole crowd is as excited as he was.
It's Arena, the playoff house here tonight. Pippen shooting over Cycli. Pippen now with 13. He's not had any problems with this. 33-21 Miami. 12-point lead, opening moment, second quarter. Jess Kersey with a foul on the baseline. It's on Scottie Pippen. His first. Jess Kersey, Ronnie Nunn, and Derek Stafford, the officials here tonight.
Well, I talked to Scottie Pippen last night, and he felt the whole key to the game was going to be the Bulls' defense, that they had to really play good defense and get up after them right away, and they clearly haven't done that.
Bimbo Coles from Virginia Tech handling the ball against B.J. Armstrong. Keith Haskins has also checked in for Miami. Illegal defense called against the Bulls. There'll be a loose shot clock and an inbound on the side.
It's very, very interesting that Ronnie Cycli earned himself a double team that time. It caused the Bulls to have an illegal defense. Normally, Ronnie Cycli doesn't draw double teams in this team.
Cycli there drew actually a triple team by the time he turned around with the ball.
Well, I like Ronnie Cycli. I think he's got a lot of offensive ability, but he just has to stay aggressive.
On the baseline. Haskins went for the tip-in, couldn't get it. He goes down. He's the youngster from Alabama. Armstrong wide open. Rebound was ripped out of Purdue's arms. Bimbo Coles finds Brian Shaw. For three. Shaw has 9.
Brian Shaw is picking a great time to find a comfort zone.
Pippen on the baseline. Brian Shaw got it.
Keith Askins is a very underrated player. He was an undrafted player out of Alabama. He didn't even start in his senior year in college. Stu Inman, the personnel director, picked up on his work ethic and his athletic ability, gained 20 pounds of muscle, and now he's gained 20 pounds of confidence.
24 years old, and that's interesting. Didn't even start at Alabama.
Bill Foran, the strength coach for the Miami Heat, said that Bimbo Coles and Keith Askins are the hardest working guys on the Miami Heat team in that weight room.
13-point lead by the Heat, 10:28 to go in the half. Cycling helping with that Chicago pressure. You see how long it takes the Heat to get it across. It took 6 seconds. 16 on the shot clock when Miami goes into their offense. 9 into Cycling. They're going to get B.J. Armstrong for the foul.
Well, if they're going to continue to allow the ball to be thrown that deep into the post, that's what we refer to as a very deep post-up. See how deep he is into the paint? You can't play behind a guy down inside. You're going to have to bring across some backside help to make sure that Ronnie Cycling can't have his way in the lane like that. I would suggest that if Will Purdue wants to do a better job defensively, then get up on the top side and not allow the pass to go in there. Use his long arms and make the Bulls try, make the Heat try to lob the ball inside to him.
Livingston comes in, as does Grant. So now we've got Purdue, Grant, Livingston, Armstrong, and Jordan on the floor for the Bulls. Cycling 4 out of 4 from the line, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks early in this ballgame. In the first couple of minutes, it looked like Ronnie Cycling was in a daze. He got out of it quickly enough. Heat by 15. 10 minutes to go first half. Jordan with the fadeaway. He has 4.
That's a tough matchup for Brian Shaw. He has to back off. He's afraid of the penetration. And not only does Michael have speed, he has size on him as well.
Brian Shaw finds the opening for the shot. Throws up a brick. Out of bounds, off Cycling, Chicago ball. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Dick Versace and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Bimbo Coles, I told you, playing with a sore throat, had 100-degree temperature at the shoot-around today.
Playoff time, Bob. Just blow it off and play. Lace them up, go out and play.
Jordan with 2 consecutive field goals and now has 6. 38-27, Heat by 11. The adrenaline rush now settling down, and Miami's into an old-fashioned ball game here. Rice misses the 3. Jordan.
Rice had a good long look.
Horace Grant kicks it back out to B.J. Armstrong. Bulls starting to rebound considerably better than they did in the first 5 minutes of this game. Jordan with the no-look pass. Cycling comes away with it. Coles to Cycling for the two-handed slam.
Ronnie Cycling active in the lane, reading the penetration of Bimbo Coles, freed himself up for an easy slam.
Askins with a tough job trying to guard Grant.
I think Horace Grant's the most underrated player on the Bulls team, maybe one of the most underrated players in the league itself.
Grant at 6'10", Askins at 6'8". Simply no physical match for him. 9 on the shot clock. Glenn Rice into the paint. Jordan with that patented behind-the-back steal. Armstrong takes the hard foul from Bimbo Coles and will go to the line.
Well, if you're going to foul the guy, make sure that he can't shoot the free throw. When I watched that World War III game against New York and Detroit the other night, I guarantee you there were no layups given, no quarter given either. And I think what the Heat has to do is they have to realize, let's make a smart decision here. Are we going to take away the shot and the basket with this foul, or are we going to give a little love tap in there? Now they're looking at a three-point play. Potentially.
B.J. Armstrong.
In game 1 and 2, Bob, I noticed that when Miami penetrates, they don't always do a good job of finding the open guy on the perimeter. Sometimes they kind of plan ahead and they say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then they go after it and make no adjustments on the way.
There's that intense pressure. Cycling had to bring the ball up the court. Bulls on an 11-4 run. Foul on Chicago. The Heat shot 67% in the first quarter. Only 2 for 8 in this quarter. As the Bulls have turned up their own heat. Armstrong's second personal. Alan Ogg at 7'2", his second year from Alabama Birmingham, will be in the ballgame in a moment. Coming up at halftime, the Prudential Halftime Report with Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with Hawks head coach Bobby Weiss. Hubie Brown will catch up with Trailblazer center Kevin Duckworth, and we'll also update you on the Phoenix-San Antonio Game 3, which just started.
Right now, the Miami Heat's vulnerable. They've got Alan Ogg in there. They don't have much inside scoring. They have Keith Askins. They got some help from Glenn Rice. Bimbo Coles has been shooting real well, 60% coming into this game. And then Kevin Edwards, who is not shooting well, right around 38%. They need some offense. They don't have it on the floor.
Jordan. Well, Miami is making them pay inside.
Well, that's the right idea. Not that you're supposed to go over there and hurt the guy, and you certainly don't want to hurt the league's premier player, but you want to make him take a difficult shot. As he gets in there, there should be a lot of white shirts in there. That's legitimate basketball. That's great NBA basketball. The NBA, no babies allowed.
Alan Ogg certainly isn't a baby. 7'2", 250 pounds. Scott Williams checking in his second appearance as Purdue goes to the bench. 7:37 to go in the first half. The Bulls have pulled to within 7. They had trailed by 15. Jordan has 6 points in the quarter, 8 points in the game. Edwards has it stripped by Jordan. Leads the break. Draws the foul. 8 points in the quarter.
Well, you got a series of complications here. We just talked about Kevin Edwards when he penetrates, not reading. He planned ahead. They closed off the gap. Now Michael Jordan's free to come down and do his thing. He's so dangerous in transition. Now you foul him. Now he dunks. Now they've got, rhythm. They've got excitement. This is what they feed off of. They feed off of this guy, the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. But he does miss occasionally.
Rice and Scott Williams will jump it up.
Hey, don't hustle on young fella.
Scott Williams out of North Carolina. Cliff Livingston in the ball game for the Bulls right now. I liked your line, the sub du jour for the Bulls, and Jordan's going to get a rest. Pippen back in.
They've had good luck with the bench. The bench has served them well all year, and I believe to the fullest that Bill Jackson has played that bench. You can see the ball slip out of bounds. The little pressure down court has been a major problem. 15 steals in game 2.
Kevin Edwards out of DePaul just bounced it off his foot. Big turnover there. As the Bulls are on a run and trail now by only 5. 7:10 to go in the half. Pippen given the baseline by Edwards. Hands it off inside. Loose ball foul on Livingston. Timeout on the floor. Heat leading by 5.
15,008, and no one is more excited nor more proud than Louis Chaffel, the managing partner of the Miami Heat. Congratulations on going from an expansion team to a playoff team in 4 short years.
This is wonderful. I mean, this whole atmosphere, what's going on here is just unbelievable. When you think not too long ago, there wasn't even a building. Nobody thought pro basketball would ever make it in South Florida. But if there's ever been a doubt, it's diffused here tonight.
They doubted the location of the arena. They said people wouldn't come down here at night. They said that Miami only supported winners, but you proved them all wrong.
Well, they said a lot of things, but you give people what they want. You give them hardworking athletes. You give them a good night of fun and entertainment, and you have the NBA behind you.
What about those people that said you shouldn't have made the playoffs but gone into the lottery?
They never played sports, and they were never here tonight.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you, Beth.
6:55 to go in the half. Heat 41, Bulls 36. Rice. Livingston with a rebound. Miami's shooting has gone south on them after shooting 67 in the first quarter, Dick. As you said, we might expect at least a decrease in that. 10 on the shot clock here.
You know, you've got to get some points off your defense. You just can't rely on your offensive output.
Purdue with a scoop shot and his first 2 points of the ball game. Career high in game number 1 for Purdue. He had 16 points in limited minutes.
He was the sub of the day.
7-0 Bulls run. It's a 3-point game. The Bulls. Purdue started that by tipping it away from Cycle. A chance to pull to within 1 or better. It's a 1-point game, and this crowd has been taken out of it momentarily, at least. Pippen with 17 points.
Well, when Louis Chappelle heard that they were going to be into the playoffs, he was watching the game in a bar, and his comment was, "I feel so good, so much emotion, and emotion is what carried his team early in this game." But they've got to knuckle down and play some defense. They've got to take better care of the ball, and they've got to handle the down-court pressure of the Chicago Bulls.
Heat holding on to the lead now with a big outside shot from Bimbo Cole. Pippen. He was bothered a bit by Kevin Edwards.
Oh, that was a good challenge, and they need a lot more of those kinds of challenges defensively. Make the passes difficult for the Chicago Bulls.
Grant Long. Livingston with a rebound. He's got 2 in just a couple of minutes of action. 43-40 Miami, 5 minutes to go, first half. Horace Grant traveling. Steve Smith back into the ball game for Miami, and Michael Jordan for Chicago. Armstrong sits down as the Bimbo Cole.
In the paper today, they had some reporter trying to explain the Chicago Bulls triangle offense. It was dead wrong. You and I laughed about it over breakfast. But one of the things they can do in that triangle offense is post any player. Right now, they ought to think about posting Scottie Pippen on Kevin Edwards at the offensive end.
Edwards kicks it out to Rice. Threes in and out of there. Horace Grant to Pippen. He's got 19.
There's absolutely no way Kevin Edwards can stay matched up successfully on Scottie Pippen. He has too much size, too much athleticism, jumping ability, savvy, moxie, confidence.
1-point game. Got a switch. Steve Smith against Grant. He's going to launch one.
See, that's the absolute amazing thing about Horace Grant. You can put him on the point guard, and he's just as effective as he is on the power forward.
San Antonio up on Phoenix early. Smith stepped on the line, the reason for the turnover. We'll keep you posted on the other playoff games tonight. Portland and the Lakers come up right after this one. The Lakers trying to avert a sweep. Jordan over Steve Smith. And the Bulls have their first lead of the game. Miami had been up by 15, 44-43. Chicago, 3:43 to go in the half.
And Bob, that came on a wonderful shot on a fall away, fade away, lean back, impossible to challenge jump shot. Nothing but net. Curled in.
Fouls on Purdue for holding on to Cycling. Jordan has 10 points in this quarter.
Right now, Miami's standing around offensively. They've got to get more movement. They've got to maybe clear aside, run a pick and roll, take advantage of the matchup with Steve Smith if they can. They've got to do something to make sure that the other people on the team touch leather on their trip down. Maybe come down and get into a passing game, run something that's a little less predictable than what they're doing.
Cartwright will be checking back in here in a
The
minute.
more you stand around against the Chicago Bulls, the more their athleticism comes into play. They can step around for steals. They can double team. They can make you react by closing off lanes on penetration.
Cartwright's in for Purdue. Cycling can tie it if he hits the second of his 2 free throws. He's had a good first half. 9 points, 5 rebounds. And there's that Chicago run. Michael Jordan, 10 of those 25 points in this quarter. It's tied at 44. Now Cartwright, Pippen, Jordan, Grant, and Livingston on the floor for the Bulls. Shaw on Jordan. Good defense, but
Kevin Lockley made a change, brought in Steve Smith, took Kevin Edwards out with Steve Smith on Pippen. Much better size matchup.
trying to post up Cycling. Cartwright forced him way out of there, gives him an opportunity to go to the hoop. The foul before the drive. Hold it, it's not a foul, it's illegal defense, and that's going to be a technical free throw for Miami, and they'll inbound the ball.
Michael Jordan gets into the lane, elevates, has a cup of tea, drops the basket in, and says, 1 lump or 2.
3:03 to go in the half. Glenn Rice misses the technical free throw, but the Heat will get the ball out of bounds with a new shot clock. Free throws have been a problem for Miami. They have only taken 46 in this series.
Kevin Lockery wanted to get more free throws. He knows his team is the 3rd best free throw shooting team in the NBA with a 79% average, but he has no way to take advantage of it if you're not going to punch the ball inside or take the ball off the dribble.
Big three-pointer from Steve Smith, and the Heat have regained the lead by 1. After getting 7 in the first quarter, Glenn Rice is 0 for 5 from the floor and scoreless here in the second quarter. Rice on Jordan. Chicago ball. Chicago gets a timeout with 2:27 to go in the half. The Heat clinging tenaciously to a 1-point lead. First playoff game in Miami Heat history. They're trailing Chicago 2-0 in this first round and are leading, however, here in the first half, 47-46 with 2:27 to go. This is the first of our doubleheader tonight on TNT. We'll be going out to Los Angeles, where Hubie Brown will team up with Pete Van Wieren to bring you that game, and then we'll also have bonus coverage of the game between San Antonio and Phoenix.
Wayne Huizenga, owner of the Marlins. We have all kinds of stars here.
Marlins have sold 10,000 season tickets for their first season already. Jordan. Oh my.
See, right now, Bob, there's no reason that the Miami Heat shouldn't be feeling good about themselves. It's just they started with a feeding frenzy, had the crowd involved. Chicago Bulls caught up, but I mean, they're right in the ball game. If they went into this game saying, could we beat 47-48 with 2:02 left in the half, will we take it? They'd have taken it easily. They should be very happy about how they're playing.
With 5 on the shot clock, got a foul on John Paxson. Oh, hold it, maybe Armstrong. Let's make sure. It's Paxson.
Michael makes a very difficult move there. You've got to move the bodies inside, and you've got to make him elevate vertically and not let him elevate towards the basket. Once he does that, he gets creative and he starts to do things that you've never seen before.
I wonder what that conversation's about. Doral, the Blue Monster, did you bring your clubs?
Along with Jess Kersey, could be a variety of substances.
By the way, Jess Kersey did not call that foul on Paxton. That was his initial indication. Changed it to Scottie Pippen. And this game's tied at 48. Enjoyed the story about Phil Jackson, who does not allow golf clubs on the playoff charter, of course. They find golf clubs when they get here, but he immediately thinks they're Michael's. Turns out they belong to one of the Chicago announcers.
Yeah, Tom Doer's clubs. They would be Tom Doer's 7-3. I don't think those are Michael's clubs.
Pippen had a moment in the lane. Got the bottom of the iron. Heat leading it by one. Inside to Steve Smith.
It's all about choices right now. There's an excellent choice.
What a move by the rookie from Michigan State.
Some rookie. Yo.
Only played in 61 games, had a serious knee injury, difficult family problems, played through all the adversity.
I put it in the Versace computer. He will be a star in this league.
Traveling on Cartwright. The Heat with a 3-point lead and a minute 10 to go in the half, and this crowd is back in the ballgame.
Hello.
Shaw, long, cycling. Rice and Smith on the floor for Miami.
Good movement. Good movement.
7 on the shot clock. Over the top, it'll belong to Chicago with 48 to go in the quarter. You could not find a ticket for this basketball game. There was notices in the newspaper here in Miami that police would be closely watching scalping outside the door. Jordan in heavy traffic draws the foul with 37 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you what, I liked the defense that time because they did bring the bodies. They took away that inside lean move where he gets so creative, and he made him fade away, but they put a little body on him, a little too much body. I think when you play Michael Jordan, if you can make him elevate up, then he's left with a jump shot. Maybe you can disturb his vision of the basket, but if you let him lean, you're in big trouble.
Jordan has 14 in this quarter, 15 in the quarter. Coming up at halftime, Bobby Weiss in the studios with Ernie Johnson Jr. Hubie Brown talks to Kevin Duckworth out on the left coast. An update on that Suns-Spurs game. You saw the Spurs trying to avert a sweep down in San Antonio, leading 21-14 early in the game.
I look for the Spurs to win that game. I think they'll win it.
Miami ball, 36 seconds to go in the half. Here's the pressure. Lightly applied this time. Down inside to Rice. Big bucket for
And how about the pass from Steve Smith? That was 3/4 court. That's about 75 feet on the money to Glenn Rice underneath.
Beat by 4. Pippen finally denied a shot at the basket. With 9 to shoot, Jordan. 16 in the quarter.
Oh, that's the problem with playing Michael Jordan, Bob. You can do everything right, and he scores anyway.
Nice pressure. Ball handling. Steve Smith hits the 3. 56-51.
I love this rookie. Scottie Pippen.
Well, they're on their feet at the Miami Arena. The Heat leading it by 5. Steve Smith
They're
has
dancing
15.
in the aisles. They're clacking. The crickets are cricketing. Check this out. What a rookie. Cool as can be. That's 3. Steve Smith. Steve Arama. Well, Miami has relied early on the shooting percentage, and it always falls off. But then you have to you got to speak to your team, and you have to say, look, hey, you're hitting your shots now. That's great, but we got to get this done in the trenches. We got to play some good defense. We got to get on the boards. We got to take the ball to the basket. We got to get ourselves on the free throw line, and we've got to be very active in transition defense.
So both Pippen and Jordan with 19 first-half points. The Heat with the lead, 56-51. Jordan's quick turnaround move over Brian Shaw.
Well, Bob, you know what they say, the three most important 5 minutes in an NBA game, last 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes of the third quarter, and the last 5 minutes of the game. Chicago Bulls preach that. They believe it. Let's see what happens.
Brian Shaw looking for some help from Long. There's the give and go. Offensive foul on Grant Long.
Tough break, made a good move. Call could have gone either way. Kevin Lockery, right attitude, staying with his team. He's done a marvelous job of taking a hands-off attitude, nice, easy manner with this team. Put an arm around them, they've responded. He likes the team.
10 to shoot for the Bulls. Horace Grant to Jordan. Big screen from big Bill Cartwright. Jordan with 23 and the first 4 points of the second half. It is a 1-point Miami lead.
Excuse me, Bob. I think you got to take the chances and switch out. You can't give the greatest player in the history of the game a wide-open warm-up jump shot. You got to get out and challenge.
Cycling into the paint. Good up and under move. However, Pippen comes away with a 2-on-3, and he'll hold it up. Bob Neal, Dick Versace with you from Miami Arena. The lob to Michael Jordan.
And you can't forget about the world's greatest player. You got to at least know where he is on the court. I mean, hello, timeout. Let's match up. Oh, wait a minute. Who am I guarding? Somebody's guarding this guy because he can do that. Whoa!
6 straight points from the Bulls. They were trailing by 5. They now lead it by 1, and it took 1 minute and 33 seconds. Miami certainly without the, no pun intended, heat that they exhibited at the beginning of this ball game when they started the second half.
Well, one of the things that you try to avoid when you get into playoffs, the season is so long, it is so arduous, it is strenuous, it is 100 games with exhibition, and you can't let your guys think about summer vacation.
Steve Smith being hounded by Michael Jordan. Smith, the rookie out of Michigan State. 10 to shoot for Miami. 6 on the shot clock. Shaw draws the foul from John Paxson and will go to the line. That's 3 on Paxson.
Brian Shaw did a nice job of trying to get his body in to John Paxson. He couldn't get by him. Paxson did a pretty nice job of shuffling his feet. But what happened was Shaw went in, dipped in, dropped his shoulder, and got Paxson to bite. Hit him on the arm. Me and my shadow. Look at this. Follow me. I'm going to go through the park. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to come up the screen.
Rice started very strong, had 7 in the first quarter, 11 in the game, and is only 4 of 12 now once Pippen got untracked and started defensively better. They've got to have a big game from Rice because he's their offensive punch. Jordan with a 360, off balance, on the seat, rolling in.
Crier, it lays up and cries and begs and drops.
57-59, Bulls now with a 2-point lead. Shaw. Miami now looking a bit flat, not getting back as quickly. Paxson with the miss, cycling to the rebound. Chance to tie on this possession.
This is that high pick and roll that gave the Chicago Bulls a lot of trouble in game 1. Nice pass inside.
And that came off the block. Grant Long got it in. Smith had his shot blocked, came back and got it, then made the big pass.
Stayed with it. He does a lot of good things.
Jordan, Nice pass inside to Pippen. Long's got him, 10 to shoot. 5.
A wonderful patience. I mean, all you high school players out there, all you college players, all you other NBA teams, all you coaches, that is wonderful patience. Wonderful.
Take it in, kick it out, take it back, back in a step or two.
Bob, it's gorgeous basketball. I've been watching this team all year long. They're wonderful to watch.
5 to shoot for Miami. Rice eludes Pippen. He lost his shadow for just a moment. 9-61.
That was
Jordan
good help.
ran into his own man.
Terrific help.
Shaw missed the jam. He was bothered by John Paxson.
See, Glenn Rice should have gone all the way down just in case. When I was a college coach, I used to give my guys $5 if they get the miss on a dunk.
Jordan is fouled on the shot. That would have really brought this crowd to their feet. John Paxson made a nice play to bother Shaw, and you made the excellent point. Where's the trailer?
See, always when you have a missed shot at the other end. Now, there's the steal by Ronnie Cycli. Brought the body across the lane. Nice little transition fast break here. Wide open for the dunk. Glenn Rice trailing. Glenn, watch now. Come on, Glenn. He might miss it, Glenn. You can be there to tip it in. $5. Monopoly money only.